Tingles with flyby. Hello my tinglings, and welcome to another top 10 video. This will be looking at my top 10 most overrated movies. So this is all, of course, according to my opinion. I compiled this list mainly from looking at various top movie lists and choosing off movies that I've seen that I don't think belong there was the main way. There were a couple that sprung directly to mind that I had to include, which are more towards the top. I actually had a bit of difficulty with filling in the bottom of the list, so I have got 10 and a couple honorable mentions. That being said, I don't have strong feelings probably beyond the top 5. I just kind of like, yeah, I think that's a bit overrated. Whereas my top 4 or 5, I think they're quite overrated. So, if it's in the bottom 5 and you think I have been unfair on it, I might agree with you, but hey, it's what my list is. So do let me know down in the comments what you agree with, what you disagree with, what you think should have been on the list. I probably have thought about what you have thought about, but really enjoyed the movie, so don't think it's overrated. So let's go ahead and get into the list. Number 10 is Forrest Gump. Now, this movie's cropped up on a few top lists, and I don't know if it's because my aunt likes to always say to me, "I'm not a very smart person, Jenny," and because my name's Jenny. I don't know if that's what's giving me I just don't think it's that great of a movie. Nothing really particular about it. I think it's a bit long. I think it's a bit too long, and I just don't think that there's anything particularly special about it. The whole setup of him sitting on the bench and telling the story, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. So that's why I've made it my number 10. And I think this is going to garner a bit of attention, but is Wall-E. I think I'm the only person who I know who's seen Wall-E who didn't just absolutely love it. I don't know. It's funny because, the song, I really like Hello Dolly, which the little "put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out" is from. I think part of it is I am a very verbal person. There's not a lot of talking in the movie, and I like dialogue. And so I think that's a big part for me. I have a hard time just caring or wanting to pay attention just interesting because there was this Korean movie I saw which was about a grandma and her grandson, and there was very little talking in that movie. And that one I found much more compelling, and I think it's because it's actually humans, and just seeing the actors' expressions and faces was compelling enough to keep me really interested and involved, even though there was very little dialogue. Yeah, I just have a hard time sitting through the whole movie because it just doesn't maintain my interest. So that's why I've made WALL-E number 9. Is Titanic. And it's funny because I actually got caught up in the hype of Titanic, and I think I did see it about 3 times. But I do think it was overhyped. I was, a preteen at that time, so with a more adult perspective, I can say I think, probably a little bit overrated. Although I know it's not uncommon to kind of bash Titanic nowadays, so it's probably not as overrated, because it isn't that highly rated, because there is kind of that backlash, but because I was having a little bit of difficulties, I thought, yeah, let's chuck Titanic in there. So that's why it's number 8. Is Dr. Strangelove. And this is a movie I can understand why people like it, because there are some moments that are pretty funny. It's just, to me, it's a bit of a chore to watch. When I was in college the first time, 10 years ago, 14 years ago is when I began, but anyway, I was quite, there were a few people, we watched it a few times, and it was a bit of a chore the first time, and the second time I was not excited that it was going to be watched again. And yeah, I just find it a bit of a chore to watch, and not really that funny. It's maybe because it's a different time, I don't know. I mean, some of these are older movies, and I think they don't resonate necessarily with later generations, but hey, I can only speak from my experience. So yeah, Dr. Strangelove, not a huge fan. Just hard to watch for me, just hard to watch. I mean, the actual doctor and I feel like he's supposed to be a pain to watch. And I'm like, yeah, but you're actually succeeding in making this painful to watch. So, it doesn't make me like it. So, that's why, that's number 7. Number 6. Is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And the pure reason for that is I have seen this movie, and yet I remember nothing about it. It made so little of an impression on me that it makes me feel like I haven't even seen the movie. Like, obviously I remember the music, the da, 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 da. But, I mean, that could be a 30-second movie, and that would be as much as I remember. Just, not compelling to me, didn't do anything for me at all. And I can understand why it's been popular. That music is very iconic and very recognizable. It's powerful music, but I would say, I think 10 seconds of score doesn't kind of undo a completely boring, uninteresting, non-memorable movie. Just my opinion. So I was actually quite surprised to see how many lists had it quite high up the list. I was like, really? Really? So that's why I put it at number 6. Is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Now, I understand the allure of this movie. It has a super quotable script. Lots of the lines are very quotable and very funny when you're quoting them. And I myself find it funny to quote the movie. But actually watching the movie itself, which to me is the point of the movie, is to watch the movie, not to be quoting back the movie. I don't find it actually that funny when you're actually watching them do the lines. It's more in retrospect that you understand that they had funny content, and yet somehow it wasn't that funny. And so there's, it's a bit of a, so I think it's a really good, there's some really good parts of the script. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good script if it doesn't really hold together that well. I mean, it doesn't have much of a plot either, which is not the point of it, I understand, but I like things that have a plot as well. I know there is a plot. I'm not saying there's no plot, but I don't think it's a very good one. And it's just kind of, it's a very much of a hodgepodge of things. It does feel like a Saturday Night Live type show, which I know that group, Monty Python group, I don't actually know a lot about them, but I know that they kind of do that sort of thing. But that to me doesn't then make it a movie. I don't know. I just don't think it's a very good movie at all. I will never watch it again. May quote it, a few more times in my life. The nights who say, "Ee," and I mean, the guy, what's so funny is that guy, who gets all his arms chopped off and he's just a torso laying on the ground and, yelling at the guy to come back. And it's such a funny idea and concept. And so then when you're quoting it back, it's like the imagination takes over and fills in and makes it funny. Come back, you coward. And it's like, oh, that's funny. But somehow when watching the movie, it's just done so poorly that it didn't even seem funny to me until I was actually quoting it back. One of my favorite lines in the movie, though, is, you know, what floats? And they're saying, a duck and whatever. Very small rocks. Very small rocks don't float. Anyway, that's one of my favorite lines. I mean, there's a lot of witty dialogue, like really good lines, and yet I rarely feel like, when I'm actually watching the movie, barely laugh at all, which isn't a good comedy to me. So that's why I've made Monty Python my 5th most overrated movie. Well, and The Holy Grail. I hope I said that. Monty Python and The Holy Grail. Number 4 is Bicycle Thieves? Bicycle Thief? Don't actually remember the title. It's not, it's not an English movie. I know it's translated. It's perhaps one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen, which is perhaps why it's rated so highly, but I don't like to be depressed, so I don't like the movie. I first saw it, one of my friends, when I was in uni the first time. He was a film major, and so they had to go watch a movie every Friday, or anyway, they had screenings of all these different movies. And so I was like, oh, that'll be fun. So I went along, and we went to see Bicycle Thieves, and I was like, this is so bad. Why did I come and watch this? I didn't watch a lot of the movies after that, I don't think. So, yeah, it really turned me off of acclaimed movies, I guess. So, that's why it's my number 4. Number 3. As we get further up the list, the more unpopular I think I'm going to be with the movies that I say I think are overrated. And it possibly could be the highest at this one. This may be the most controversial one on the list. So at number 3, I have Fight Club. I've read a bit about Fight Club and what it means, and so I've read the theories. I didn't just only watch it and then leave it at that. You know, what possibly it means, but I guess I don't understand what people see in it. Just doesn't do anything for me. I don't think it opens my mind. It doesn't broaden. I love to have my mind broadened and to think in a new way. I love things that do that. I love that just completely flipped my thinking on its head. I love things that are like that. And so I kind of thought Fight Club might be like that, since a lot of people had that experience. It wasn't like that for me at all. I just thought, yeah, okay. I don't know, it felt very pointless, but not in a meaningful way. I mean, some things are pointless, but there's a point to the pointlessness. or there's a pointlessness to the pointlessness, whereas it felt like there was supposed to be a point here, and that it wasn't supposed to be pointless, but to me I just found it pointless. I'm saying pointless a lot. Tyler Durden being who he was, yeah, I just didn't find it compelling. So, didn't change my life. I was excited to watch it actually, because I didn't watch it until long after it come out. And so I was like, okay, yeah, well, let's watch Fight Club, you know? This will be a good movie. And I was just gonna watch it, I'm like, yeah, wasn't that great? So I was pretty disappointed. So that's why I've got Fight Club at number 3. Number 2 is Casablanca. I think this is a generational thing, because I know a lot of people from my dad's generation absolutely love Casablanca. I hate it. I hate it. I hated it. I first saw it when I was a teenager. My friend and I had gone out to the movies, and we had gone to see, I think it was Serendipity, which is just a dumb little movie with John Cusack, and I'm not saying that's the greatest movie ever. It is one of my guilty pleasures, though, because me and my friend had so much fun going to see it. Anyway, and we were just on a high after seeing this movie. We're like, oh, that's so good. Let's watch another movie. So then we watched Casablanca when we came home. It was the first time I'd seen it. And I just thought the whole premise was just so dumb. Like, that she's being noble by staying with this big-head general because the war effort matters so much. I just thought it was a load of bull, to be honest, and I couldn't get past that. I couldn't see, the great sacrifice they both are making for the greater good. I just think, it just felt wasteful, pointless, and very propaganda-y as well. It's like that whole, oh yeah, the war effort, the war is, what matters the most, and everything matters about the war, with not a lot of nuance or thought about that. So, I don't know. The way it was done, at least, didn't compel me. It just, I could see a situation where that situation could be compelling, but they didn't sell me on that it was so important for her to stay with him. It was just kind of, they said it was important for her to stay with him, so she did. Not that they really showed me that her sacrifice would really be worth it. I think that's the part that really bothered me was, okay, you're kind of saying that this matters, and they're making these assumptions, but where's the real proof? Like, who actually knows that that's the case? It didn't sell me that I would make that same decision, or that I would respect somebody who made that decision. And so, I hate the movie. I hated it then. I hate it now. So, that's why it's number 2. So, I told you I had a rough time with coming up with 10 movies, so coming up with any honorable mentions, very difficult as well. So, I don't have strong feelings on these movies. I'm thinking that they're super overrated, but they're kind of the best I can do for honorable mentions, because I think it's fun to have some honorable mentions. So, honorable mentions for most overrated movies. I have two. The first is The Big Lebowski with Dude. I like the character. He's an alright character. It's a bit over the top for me. I think that's the main thing. And the premise is interesting, that he just kind of stumbles onto this thing because they got the wrong name and they peed on his carpet and he just wanted to fix the carpet, so then he gets involved in this whole thing. But it was just a bit yeah. Just a bit I thought the acting was good. So I think it deserved, the acting was good, but I just didn't like the story that much. I liked the character, but I would have liked to see him probably more in a less far-fetched story, just being the dude, going and bowling. I really don't like that bowler either, the little one with the mustache. That actor is very over the top to me. Don't like him. Guy's supposed to be a pedophile. I don't think you're supposed to like him anyway, but I haven't liked that actor in anything. He's very, very over the top, I think. So, Big Lebowski is the first honorable mention. The second honorable mention is American Beauty. I remember this movie being talked about so much when it came out. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it a long time after. And I just didn't do much for me. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be more relatable for men. I saw it very recently. I remember a few things from it, but I don't know, it wasn't that compelling to me. It was just very, okay. Didn't like any of the characters, really. Didn't like the plot. I mean, yeah, not a lot to like about it, so that's kind of why, and so I was kind of confused why everybody thought it was so good. Anyway, so that's why it's in my honorable mentions. So, do our drum roll now, because we know what's coming next. Is Pulp Fiction. This is on a lot of top 10 lists. It's a very well-made movie. I will agree with that. The acting, can't fault anything in the acting. It just is. That's basically, I don't think that there's anything great about it. If it was maybe, I think even if people had it like in the 50 to 100 range, I probably wouldn't complain that much. I think, okay, yeah, just, it was alright, obviously well made, not for me. But for people, like, for it to be rated so highly and so often in top 10s, like top 10 movies, just like there are so many better movies than this movie. I do not understand how this movie is so highly rated. I don't understand it at all. It doesn't have a clear, like a clear and compelling plot. Like obviously you kind of have these different threads and they loosely connect. And I mean there's some good scenes, like the scene of Samuel L. Jackson and Johnny Travolta driving off to do, like, that is a great scene. I will agree with that. But one scene to me doesn't make the movie. I don't think the rest of them, like, the way that they're just having this super casual conversation as they're going off to kill somebody, I think that's great. That is great. It's very, makes it mundane. It shows just that mentality, and it's a very interesting mechanic. I do really enjoy that. I really like that. But that one scene to me isn't enough to make it as highly rated as it is. I just, yeah, think it's way, way overrated. As I said, if it was, people thought it was maybe 50 to 100, I could probably agree with that. It's not what I would probably put in my top 50 to 100. Didn't like it well enough. But it's not going to be like in my last 100 either. I don't think it's, anywhere near worst movies that I've ever seen. But yeah, I don't see what makes it just supposed to be so good and amazing as it's lauded to be. Yeah, I guess I just expected a lot more when I had seen how highly it was rated when I saw it. And so that's why I made it my top one. It was like way overrated for what it is. So that's why it's my #1 overrated movie. I'm sure plenty of you disagree. So let me know down in the comments what you disagree with and if you agree with me, let me know too. I want to know, I want to share that feeling of these movies being overrated because so many people like them. Why? And I will address one because when I was tossing up the idea for this video in a live stream, someone did say, oh, if you don't have Avatar on there, I don't even know. But I loved Avatar, still love Avatar. I don't think it's overrated. So that's why I didn't put it on my list. Yeah, I think it's good. It's not in my top 10 movies or anything, but going to see the cinema, especially in 3D, that's an experience beyond the movies. That's just such a compelling experience. Never forget it. It was definitely worth it. So, that's my top 10. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm not sure if it's the most relaxing content, so let me know what you think in that way as well. Because I think probably my top movies would be more relaxing than my most overrated, but I did have a request from a tingling to do this for my top 10, so that's why I've done it. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, my tinglings. Thanks for watching this video.